Milena's birth mother chose to have an abortion because her amniocentesis results showed that she had trisomy 13. That is a pretty debilitating genetic disease that can affect almost every organ in the body. Her birth mother chose to have an abortion to avoid having to deal with those things. Milena survived the abortion, and we adopted her. Since Milena was born in Serbia in Eastern Europe, the culture of supporting children, people with disabilities, is very low. To just not feel like you have a network that you can lean into, that puts you right away in survival mode. And whenever you're in survival mode, your only thought is, how do I get out of this? That's what it means to survive. When we thrive, we can be in hard situations, but we can imagine what life could be like in different ways. For any child who is diagnosed in the womb with a debilitating disease, to have compassion on them is to say, like, you are here for a reason, and I don't have the answers. It even takes a sense of humility. Like, I don't know what tomorrow's going to look like, but I know that you're brought into this world for a specific reason, and I want to walk in that with you. It's laying down our expectations. It's laying down even our own, sometimes good desires. We all want healthy kids, but no one's guaranteed health. And to expect that for an unborn child and to lay those kind of expectations on them and say that because you don't experience life like the rest of the world, you don't have a need for life, is very much the wrong message. Seeing that there's value in what they add to our story and their story, even if we don't have it all figured out. We really like to have control, especially in our American culture where we have a lot of opportunities for control to grow and to make it big. And if we don't get our goals met, then we see all those as setbacks. But we need to just change what our goals are and make those goals a little softer so that we can include these beautiful children who can make our lives better. There is just a lot of threat that comes with not feeling like you have what it takes to raise a child with needs. And we are so lucky in America that most of us have insurance in some way. Like, we can even look to the government. As much as we might not like the government in some ways, government can support us, and the lower income people have opportunities to find medical care for their children who need it. And that is not the case for many international developing countries. Like, they don't have a way out. Like, they literally don't have a way out besides choosing an abortion. And that's the message that they see. That's the message that they hear. If a parent was going to adopt a child with cerebral palsy, your first option would be like, wow, there's a bunch of networks in Indiana that have support networks for children with this, or therapists with specific for attachment or play therapy. That becoming a common resource. Like, okay, your child survived an abortion, where there is a specific way that we can walk alongside them. So I think that professionals in the adoptive world and in the medical world can say, like, this is a legit need that needs to be given a resource and spoken about. It opens us up to the world that exists. And that matters, because when we have the eyes of what's happening in the world, then we are able to have more compassion. We just see so many quick fixes here in America that we feel like that's kind of just how it is around the world. So many people around the world just don't exist in a system that allows them to rise up. So it continues that systemic poverty, those systemic issues. And thankfully, we have so many groups that are working on fixing those problems. They're not just building houses, but they're fixing the poverty level by offering women jobs and helping them to feel valued and teaching them about safe families and safe marriages and what abuse is. And those are things that we just take for granted here in America because of our way of living. And so acknowledging that the world exists and that we can be a part of healing the world one child at a time is an opportunity. We are given eyes to see the people that surround us, the troubled kids that are in our kids' classrooms, those young teens that drive us crazy on Friday nights. We are filled with opportunities to sow seeds of love and respect and teach that self-respect means that you matter and that your identity is more than what you're able to provide to the world. An example of that for me would be I was with a group and we were sent out to mulch in a park. And I was not super excited because I'm a busy mom and I'm like, mulching in a park sounds kind of boring. Doesn't sound like something to really brag about. God brought these two little girls who were just looking for a place to be, looking for a place to help. They were working hard, and our group just got to speak life into them, to empower them, to hear their story, to hear what's hard in their life, and to celebrate with them, and for them to be with safe people, for them to be around men and women who want the best for them, who don't want to take advantage of them, who just speak life into them. If we had a willingness to look around and be willing to do that for all the people that we see, we'd be able to start listening to stories. And if we start listening to stories, then we know where we can enter in and see where someone is struggling. But that's going to start at home, where my kids learn what it means to value and respect another person, to be willing to see that they've got some skeletons in their closet, some brokenness, but we're going to love them anyways. And we're going to keep walking with people. One person can open their eyes up to the community that's around them. We are all placed specifically where we are for a reason. That's how we're going to make a difference.